my church guys are not around. But 7 that are eating. Okay, so live streaming to somebody's doing that, right? So we're 7 that are eating normally, just normally when church people are not coming to eat my house. 1 tuber of yam, 7 people have finished it now, especially when there are 4 men amongst them. The 3 boys and then myself. 4,000 naira just like that. 1 crate of egg, and I don't know how much yam was in the beginning of the year, but 1 crate of egg I know was around 700 or maybe 800 naira or so. But right now, the least you can get it for, and when you get it at 1,600, this is really cheap, and that means it's small eggs. The least you can get for is 1,700. So that's double the price for 1 crate of egg. So if you were not saving money last year, and you were saying that my income is not enough for me, you see why a foolish man is the one that spends it all up. And you say that my income is not enough for me in January. Will it be enough now? No. Please, pardon. Can I see that? I can still hear. Okay, so that's why. Okay. Excuse me, please. I'm sorry for that. All right. So will it be enough now? So it's actually not a good reason at all. It's not a wise reason not to save money. You must save. You must pay yourself before you pay others. If you have paid yourself before you pay others, then others will have to manage whatever it is that you have. And I'm telling you, when I say pay yourself before you pay others, if you need to go hungry, yes, go hungry. If you need to not have data on your phone, yes, don't have data on your phone. There's some things that we don't joke with. I don't joke with my breakfast. I don't joke with my dinner. No, I don't joke with data. Or I must have data on my phone every time, because that's how I'm communicating with the world. I'm cut off from the world. Who told you you're cut off from the world if you don't have internet? Still in the world, you are still here, you are still eating, you are still standing, you are still running, you are still up and down, you are still communicating with people. So if not having internet today is going to give you an internet company tomorrow, please cut off from the internet. Cut off from the internet. The reason I save and the reason I'm crazy about the way I save is because of what I see in my tomorrow, because of the future Femi Adisa that I can see. I know that he will not get what he wants at that age, at that time, if the present me is not paying him. So I've started paying him from now because he must get the things that he wants in the future. Imagine if you are not saving of this year and you're saying your salary is not enough, your salary is not enough. Right now, how about now? Have you died? You've not died now, and your salary has practically become half. You now practically have half of your salary because that's what it can buy, and you've not died. Many people that say that they can't save. 700 was early last year. So early this year was how much? Well, you understand what I'm saying. I mean, prices have really gone up. So what am I saying? I just yeah. I always say this, that thank you very much. I always say this, that if you earn 100,000 naira now and you say, 200K is not enough for me, I can't even survive on 100K. Lagos is expensive. This, that, and all that stuff. God forbid. And this month, you lose 20,000 naira, and everybody has lost money before. Everybody has lost money before. So you lose 20,000 naira. Will you survive the next month, or will you die because you lost 20,000 naira? Please put it in the chat box. Will you survive the next month, or will you die because you lost 20,000? Remember that time when you lost some money. Did you survive that month? Did you survive that month? For those who work in the bank, they know if you make a mistake, you have to pay for it. And sometimes paying for it could be hundreds of thousands, millions. See, I lost 20K last year, I survived. Woman must survive. I will adjust immediately, exactly. So assume that you're losing money every month. If you're actually earning 100K, for example, assume that you're losing 20K every month. Just assume money every month. However, you're not losing the money. You are saving the money for your future. You are paying your future self. Because when you are 30 years old, you're in your 20s now. When you're 40 years old, you're in your 30s now. When you're 50 years old, you're in your 50s now. When you're 60 years old, you're in your 50s, you're in your 50s now. You don't want that person to be broke and hungry and begging for food. There are many people who are retired today. They were making a lot of money when they were still working. I'm telling you because I have seen it, like a family member close to me like this, where somebody is lounging when he's working and then retires, and then the person can hardly survive by himself. And then because it's heavy when you see such and you're like, man, my future self cannot be like this. I put my hand on my chest and say, you will be doing your future self a disservice by ensuring that he ends up like this with all the things that you have seen. With all you have seen. There was a day in the church where I was assistant pastor before. I was teaching about financial intelligence and all that in that month. And one particular guy said, he was at a pharmacy, he went to a pharmacy, and while he was buying drugs, an old man came there and asked him about his family. Oh, you want to buy drugs for your family? He said he had gone. The old man called him back and advised him and said, I was very wealthy when I was your age. I was very wealthy. But now, I can hardly even get money to eat. He said, please, now that you are young and you are working, ensure that you are saving and investing money so that you don't end up like me. Even if you didn't meet that old man, what I just told you now is the message of that old man. The life of that old man, his regrets. Please don't let that be your regret too. Don't let that be your regret too. What are you expecting? That magic will happen? You're expecting that maybe someday, somehow, you will come across Ghana must go of money, and then that's how you become wealthy? It's not possible. Let me not say it's not possible. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. There are about 8 billion people in this world. How many of them has that happened to? I doubt if that happened to 1 million out of 8 billion. Even if that's happened to 100 million, look at the percentage out of 8 billion. Who says that you'll be amongst the 100 million that it will happen to next? In the next batch of 100 million people that it will happen to? It's not realistic. So you can't base your life and your future on that. Please save money. It is foolishness to spend all that you earn. The Bible says it. The Bible says that if you are spending all that you earn, you are a fool. Stop being a fool. Stop being a fool and receive sense, receive wisdom, receive wisdom. It's not every time you must buy Mary Kay. Sometimes buy only Mary, leave the K. If you understand what I'm saying. When I say buy only Mary, leave the K, I'm saying buy the one that is not so, it's not as standard as Mary Kay. It's not every time that you must buy Zaron. Buy Zar, leave the Ron. All right, it's not every time you must buy Christian Dior. Okay, I don't think we might work with Louis Vuitton. Buy Louis and leave the Vuitton. Let the Vuitton go. Cut your coat according to your clothes or according to your material now. You know why? Because a time is coming when you will be lounging. A time is coming when now you can afford all those things. And it's because of that time that you are saving so that you don't miss that time. So that you don't miss that time. But Zaron products are really nice. Zaron products are nice. But for you, when you can afford it comfortably. See, someone is saying they can attest to the bank issue. So if you have to pay back, you're not going to die, you pay back. Now, the next excuse I always hear is my family members, the people that are around me, my mom, my dad, and I support giving to your parents. I mean, there's a lot to gain from that. You gain blessings from them. You also gain blessings from God for ignoring them in their old age. And then you also sow a seed into your own future so that your children will also love you and give to you, even if you are extremely wealthy in your old age. There's just something about getting things from your children. And even right now that my own children are still very small, I love, even when I've eaten my own food, I love it when they come to me and say, Daddy, take. I love just that they did that. Sometimes I will say, oh, no, thank you, I'm fine. Especially if I'm fasting, oh, thank you, I'm fasting. But then I just love that they bring it to me, all right? So there are a lot of blessings in giving to your parents. You say, my sister, my brother, my this, my that. Hey, because of them, because of all those people, save. Save. Your mom needs 10,000 naira now, or she says that she wants 10,000 naira now. Tell her, Mommy, I'm sorry, it's only 5,000 naira that I have at hand right now. Because of them, because of their future, save. Save. You know why? If you are not yet swimming well, you're still trying to swim. You're still trying to swim through your finances in life. And you see somebody that is also trying to swim. You can swim. He cannot swim. You now decide and say, I want to go and help him. Both of you will drown. Both of you will drown. You cannot help your family members with your current state. You can only help your family members very well when you are now really good, when you are now, you are now stable. When you are now stable, that's when you can help your family members well. So because of your family members that you love with all of your heart, save. My mom did this for me. Then I didn't understand. I was in the university. She was saving to build a house. And I would call her and say, Mommy, I need money. And then she say, I don't have. Or this is the amount I have. Manage this, manage that. And then one day I came home and I went straight to our office. From the office, we went back to the house. My parents are separated, so I went to my mom's place now. From the office, I went back to the house. And then when we got home, she called me and said, yeah, let's count this money together. And poured money out. In those days, I'm not sure there was 1,000 naira, but it was a lot of money. It was much. Maybe it was just 5 million or something. I'm not sure right now. I can't remember the total. But when it comes to the number of notes, it was plenty. And I counted and everything. And in my mind, while I was counting, I was vexing. I was fuming. And this woman will be telling me there's no money. See this money that I've been counting since. By the time I finished counting all the money, we counted it together, put everything together. She now counted maybe 10 or 20K and said, okay, you take this. I said, I don't want. She said, why would you say you don't want now? I said, I don't want. Maybe you don't want to give me money now. Maybe you said like there's no money. I see all this money now. I said, I don't want. So she forced me and all that until I took the money. And then she now told me, she said, this money I'm saving it for, and I bless God for my mother. It's from her genes, I believe, that I have these genes of, saving money, investing, and all that. I really, really bless God for her. If you are a Delta person here, maybe you are like that too. I don't know. So, but Yoruba likes to spend money. You know that we like to show, we like to do party and all that. So maybe it's the Delta, so to say, that changed that narrative for me in particular. So she gave me that money and said, I'm saving for this, I'm saving for that. At the end of the day, when the house was built, she now said, see, if every time you called me that you needed money, I sent the money to you, I would never have built it. If every time that you were angry that I didn't send money to you, I just, out of sentiment, I say, okay, I'll go ahead. I would never have built this. Excuse me. I would never have built this. That thing shaped my thinking. So even though she loves me, because of her love for me, she decided that she's going to do this. Rather than give me the little money that I was asking for. So because you love your parents, when they are asking for 10,000, you give them 5,000 naira. Why? Because later on you want to be able to buy them a car. Because later on, you want to be able to send them abroad. Because later on, you want to be able to celebrate their birthday, their 70th, their 80th birthday in grand style. Celebrate it like Obi Kubana. All right, in grand style. So because of your love for your siblings also, you don't have to always send money to them. Why? Because you are not yet swimming well. You don't yet know how to swim. You are also drowning your finances is drowning. So you can't decide that you want to help them. Both of you will drown. The entire family will end up poor. So for their sake, please save. 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 I'm trying to flog this issue of the reason why you must save, because that's the ground, that's the foundation of it all. That's the foundation of it all. I thank God that, for me, I've been saving since I was a child. Maybe since I was like 8 years old or so. When somebody comes and gives us money, nobody has to talk and save it. I save it. I remember the day sisters wanted stole 55 naira, my 55 naira that I've been saving for long. I still remember very well now. It's still paining me. It's still paining me. Then she come and confess and say, this is 55 naira I stole from you. I will be glad. I will go and spend that 55 naira. Why? Because I saved it, even though I could buy biscuits, I could buy sweets. I think I was 8 years old. I could buy anything I wanted with it. And at that age, there's a lot that we want that I liked. I don't know if anybody knows Tanferi. You know Tanferi? I don't know if anybody who knows Tanferi. What's it called? Maybe do you know what Tanferi is called? Maybe the English name was Tanferi. I liked Tanferi when I was a child. I liked Tanferi. Oh my God. Who knows Tanferi here? So that I'm not the only one. Who knows Tanferi? You know Tanferi? Round. Yeah, too to know Tanferi. Sorry, I grew up in Alagomeji. Round, brown. You know Tanferi, groundnut snap or so. Aha, thank you. Okay, so I'm not the only one. Thank God, dude. I like Tanferi like crazy. I will not buy it. I will save the money. I will save the money. And so one day they stole my 55 naira. One of my sisters stole my 55 naira. And I was shouting all over the house. But that didn't stop me from saving. I continued to save. Although now in a more secure place, a place with guarantee. A place that if anybody goes there, in fact, I will know. I was saving money. And then there was a day we were washing clothes or so. We're doing something. And then my sister discovered some money that I had saved. And one thing I usually do, I'll teach you this also, is the way Jesus Christ saves. I've been doing it before I even became born again. I'll teach you. And she discovered this money that I saved. And then she looked at me and said, Femi, you can never be poor. And, that statement just talked to me. Femi, you can never be poor. Why did she say at that age? I can't remember what we were, but I'm very sure we're not up to 11. Why did she say at that age that I can never be poor? Why? Because I had mastered the art of saving, which is actually the foundation of wealth. I had mastered the art of saving. So because of that, she said it that day, even though we were children, this boy can never be poor because of how he saves. So I'm telling you also, everybody on this call, Ebun, Victoria, Ifeoma, it's good to see you here. Ifeoma, Busayo, Oriofe, Ola Ruth, Ivy, Sofa, I don't want to pronounce somebody's name wrong. Fumi, Sarah, everybody on this call, if you can master the art of saving, you can never be poor. You can never be poor. Doesn't matter what the devil tries. If you can master the art of saving, you can never be poor. Pay yourself first before you pay others. Pay yourself first. All right? Okay. Pay yourself first before you pay others. Now, how do you save? How do you save? In scriptures, pardon me, I didn't look at this before the class. But in scriptures, I saw there how Jesus Christ saves. And I said, yes, this is the best way to save. Remember when they told Jesus Christ that he should come and pay his tax? And Peter said, how can they ask us to pay? And he said, no. I mean, let's pay our tax because we are supposed to pay our tax. Then Jesus now told Peter, okay, go to so and so place and you will see the tax. He had saved it in the mouth of the fish. He said you will see the tax. And let's break that down. Let's break that down. Jesus Christ went to save money in the mouth of a fish for when it will be called for, it will be required. He's a carpenter. So he knew that if he uses a kolo, kolo, hey, another one from everybody knows kolo now. Piggy bank. If he uses a piggy bank and it's usually made with wood, kolo is made with wood. All these piggy bank that they use nowadays, I don't understand. All this plastic piggy bank. That's not piggy bank. Plastic piggy bank that I will just cut very easy. But kolo, real kolo, is made with pako. Thank you. Matthew 17, verse 24 till the end. Thank you. Matthew 17, verse 24 till the end. If he knew that if he uses kolo, he's a carpenter, he will get the money out. Very easy. He will get the money out. Because he's a carpenter. So what did he do? He put it in the mouth of a fish. He cannot fish. He's not a fisherman. The person who is a fisherman is Peter. So the only way you can reach that money is if it goes through Peter. That's how to save. Put your money in an account where there's nothing you can do. You can't touch it except you go through somebody. So you put somebody in between yourself and your money. I wish that this was a class so that you can see what I'm writing. You put somebody between yourself and your money. So this is savings. Somebody and you. All right? So it has to be you. This is your savings, and there's somebody in between yourself and your money. That's how Jesus Christ saved money. That's how Jesus Christ saved money. He put Peter in between himself and the money. And how can you do that? How can you do that? Open an account. Take your checkbook or whatever, savings booklet, what else? Your ATM card and all that, and hand it over to somebody. And keep it. You can't reach it. You can't reach that money except through that person. And then you always, maybe you do a standing order in the bank, or maybe you do it manually if you're disciplined enough. You always, at the end of every month, transfer money into that account. And you cannot reach it except through that person. And that person is not just somebody that you just say, go and get me that money. No. The person is someone that will ask you questions. What do you need this money for? All right, you need this for this, you need it for that. And that's it. That's how you save. That's how Jesus Christ taught us to save. You put somebody that can reach the money, but you ensure that you cannot reach that money. And that's how you save. Especially if you're not disciplined enough to save. Put that money aside every month and ensure that you can reach it. Ensure that you can reach it. Okay? Now, how much should you save per month? How much should you save per month? Oh, dangerous at this time. The person won't have the ATM card. The person will have the ATM pin rather. The person won't have the ATM and the person's signature can't get the money out. So this one is stringent. Yes, please. It has to be stringent. So let me address that. The person will have that. That's one. Two, you can also have an agreement with the bank that if you want to withdraw this money, you'll be penalized for it. Banks do that. That they penalize you for withdrawing the money before the date that you have told them you want to withdraw it. So banks do that. So if you say, I'm saving this money from January till January next year, so that by the end of the year or by the beginning of next year, I can start a business. And I'm saving maybe 20,000 naira every month till that time. So that by that time, it's 240,000 naira and I can use it to start a business. If in July you come and say, I want to withdraw 20,000 out of my 120K, the bank is going to penalize you for doing that. They will give you 20K. So if it is not absolutely needed, you will not go there. By the time you think about the penalty, that they're going to take out 10% of my money or 20% of my money, I'm just going to dash them because I came to collect it before it was time. You will not do that. So you can put a ban. If you don't trust anybody, if anybody could get your PIN or guess your PIN because you give them your ATM card, if you don't trust anybody, you can do that. Another thing you can do is break the ATM card and tear the checkbook or the. But then sometimes you can even go to the bank and use withdrawal slip and get the money out. Just ensure that you can't get the money out no matter how hard you try. Just ensure that you can't get the money out no matter how hard you try. Okay. So, yeah. Somebody said it's stringent, yes. So it's stringent, yes. And it has to be. It has to be. Maybe I should. I think I've shared this with you all in the mentorship group before. But maybe I should share it again. When I started working, I was earning only 30,000 naira per month. Not like I didn't deserve more or I couldn't, but that was where God said I should work. And I'm too afraid, not just that I'm very, let me tell you the truth here. I'm too afraid to work in a place that God did not, to disobey God. I'm too scared to disobey God. Because from an experience I had in the university, from that time I became too afraid to disobey God because I got the punishment for disobeying him. So I was too scared to disobey God. So I was working there. But then I have plans. My future self must be wealthy. So I was saving out of 30,000. I don't know how stringent. I don't know if it can be more stringent than that. I was saving 25K. Only the card number and all your savings is gone. So yeah, so break the ATM card. So you can do whatever it is that you want to do. Yeah, so about PiggyVest, let me just address this. About PiggyVest, yes, I've never used them before. Like I said, I naturally have the ability to save by myself. I just have that discipline. So I've never used an app or, I've never used these things before. But please go ahead and use it. I know I've heard of people who have used these things and it has worked for them. All right. So please, if you need to use PiggyVest, go ahead and use PiggyVest. If they are the ones that you're going to put in between yourself and the money, just put someone in between yourself and the money. You can put a bank, you can put PiggyVest, you can put an app, whatever it is. Just put yourself between. Just put someone rather between yourself and the money. You get the principle, but how to do it. I mean, can be. You can now do that. PiggyVest is very reliable. Yeah, you've used it before and it's great, so that's fine. Okay, so I was saying out of 30K, I was saving 25K, 25, and I was not saving this. I was saving it by myself. I was putting it aside by myself. So the money is in my account and I'm hungry. For about 2 years, I live and work on the redemption camp. I was living and working on the redemption camp at that time. For about 2 years, I never used my money to take public transport within the redemption camp. Anywhere I'm going to within the redemption camp, I trek. And if you know the redemption camp is big. Where I was living at that time was, I don't know how many kilometers now, but it was at least 20 minutes walk to the office. And I would trek in the morning and in the evening. I never also used my money to go and buy food outside to eat. I only bought the ingredients and cooked. I never bought cooked food outside. Because I only had 5K to live on throughout the month. Only 5K. And in fact, it wasn't only 5K really because I was also paying offering and giving tithe. But then in the course of the month, I would do one or two things. I would just do whatever I can to just make money. I made sure I was not depending on my salary at all. If I had to make extra money, if I needed extra money, by all means, that I had to make that money. I had to make that money. A 25K shift, that one was standard. So it has to be stringent. My wife, she was a what's it called now? Presenter in Dove Television, and that's how I met her. So, but even before she started working in Dove used to invite me then because I was doing music and all that to do interviews, to be a guest on their shows. Once in a while they will invite me to be a guest on their shows. So there was a day I was invited. I think it was the first time I was being invited to be a guest on one of their shows. And I had not eaten. And that's how I was. I would eat only once a day. In those days, I used to eat, I will not eat in the morning. I will only eat in the night when I get back home from work. So throughout when I'm in the office, I don't eat. It's only when I get back from work I eat. If I have to eat in the afternoon, I will trek home. I will have to trek home to go and eat and then trek back to the office. But that's whenever I just I can't go on, I just have to eat. I'll have to trek home, even if the sun is out, and then eat, then trek back to the office. That's how I live. So I had this interview and I had not eaten. And my colleague in the office said that it was on my face I had not eaten, that my face looked like I had not eaten. And I insisted I wasn't going to eat. She had to, even though she didn't have that money, but she had no choice than to bring out the money to help me buy food and say, Femi, eat before you go on TV. Eat before you go on TV. That's how tough I was on myself. I had the money in the bank. I could easily just get the money out and go and eat. But I was that tough on myself. And today I'm happy about it. God gave us 2 sets of twins in 2 years. 9 months after marriage, 2 children, bam. Another 2 years after, exactly 2 years after, 2 children, bam. 4 children. It wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have been able to cope if I had not been saving since that time and also investing money since that time. So please be stringent on yourself. Please be hard on yourself. Be hard on yourself. All right? Somebody said redemption is very big. Yes. Someone said, sir, you are strong, bro. It's because of my future self. The self of now is who I suffered for that time. And I'm glad that my former self suffered for me right now. And I'm grateful to that my former self for suffering for me. For this, my current self. So my future self also must be grateful to this present self for suffering for him if Jesus Christ tarries, if Jesus hasn't come by the time I'm, 40, 50, especially when I'm around 50 and, close to the retirement age or at that retirement age. All right. So please and please make sure that you save. Make sure that you save money. Be hard on yourself. Yorubas will say, Febi panu, please. Even God, even the Almighty God. I don't want to go deep into it because it seems like theology and all that. Okay, so what was how much should you save every month? Yes, so how much should you save every month? From the story of Joseph, we can see that what you should save every month that would help you to sustain yourself and be okay in the future should be 20% of your income. 20% of your income. So if your income today is okay for you, you are living comfortably well with your income today, and you are saving, and you now take out 20% of that income and you start saving and reinvesting it, in 7 years' time, you will be lounging like crazy. Even if you don't make money in the next 7 years after that first 7 years, you will still be very okay. But then you won't do that. Because you still survive another 7 years, another 7 years, another 7 years. So you have to continue saving and reinvesting. But from what Joseph taught us in Genesis 41, from what he taught us that you must be saving 1/5 of your income. 1/5. That's 20% of your income. Now, I have a video on YouTube that explains this, but I'm going to display it for us here right now. We don't have so much time left. We're still going to go into investment. I'm going to display it for us, but this is the foundation, so I'm not going to even rush this one at all, because if you can get this one, you get the rest right. So, I'm going to display it for us. Because if I will ask you a question and say, Joseph, members of Biblical Billionaire Club, don't answer this question, right? Because I've done it for you. You already know this. Joseph proposed a solution to Pharaoh. He said there's going to be 7 years of famine. And then after that, 7 years of plenty. 7 years of plenty, sorry. And after that, 7 years of famine. Then he said, let's take out 20% of our yearly income and put it aside for all those years of plenty, for those 7 years. And in the 7 years of famine, that 20% will be enough for us to survive on. Now think about it. Does this make sense? You are making 100,000 naira now. 100,000 naira now every month. You're okay with that? Somebody now says that let's say every year, somebody now says that you should be taking out 20,000 so that you can live 20,000 in the next year. It doesn't make sense. I mean, if 100,000 is what was okay for you now, 20,000 will not be okay for you that time. And it's the same period. It's not like 7 years and then 2 years. So this thing worked. Not only did it work, take note, Egypt was eating, and then they were also feeding people from other nations of the world. People from other nations of the world were coming to Egypt to buy food from them because they had money, but they didn't have the food. But in Egypt, they had the food. How come what ordinarily will not be enough for Egyptians alone was enough for the entire world in that period of famine? How come? Can somebody tell me? Because ordinarily, if somebody should look at this logically, I'm an economist, and if you logically, I will tell you that this doesn't make any sense. No economist will agree with this, and then they will probably say that the Bible is wrong, or the Bible, the Bible is not correct, yeah. Story is wrong and all that stuff. So, but how come this worked? This worked. Put 20% aside, and it will be enough later on. How come it worked? Hey, I've lost internet here. Maybe, please let me check this. Is internet? Yeah. I'm still like that. All right, so how come it worked? I can't see the comments. Can you read it out? We know
they saved their excesses.
They saved their excess. No, they were only saving only 20%. That was all that they were saving. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. A lot of time. Let's do this. Let's do a display of what happened. In the 7 years of famine, in the 7 years of plenty, rather, let's assume that they were making $500 per year. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. $500 every year for 7 years. Okay? Can they see this? That's year 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is year 2. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is year 3. Now, mind you, God himself explained this to me because my head could not just take. I'm an economist. It doesn't make sense. But God taught me this, and this is what actually changed my life. I have it on YouTube about this, and the video is literally titled, "This Bible Story Made Me a Millionaire." This is what made me a millionaire. From 30,000 naira per month, I have been able, by God's grace, to grow to where I am today because of this principle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Year 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Year 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Year 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Year 7. So this is 7 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 years. Put this aside. In year 1, Joseph said, let's take out 20% of our income. So he took it out in year 1. At the end of year 1, I need to see myself. He took it out at the end of year 1, but this is what he did with the money. And that's why we're transitioning to investment now. He took it out, but he didn't just go and keep it in a warehouse. We all know if you keep corn or millet, whatever it is, in a warehouse for 7 years, you will not meet it there again. If you even meet your corn or millet there, if the squirrels and the rats and all that have not eaten it all up, you will not meet the same quantity to become less. So that's why savings is never enough. In fact, savings is dangerous if it does not transition to investment. Imagine you saved 10 million naira in the beginning of January. Today, now you have 5 million naira, because what 10 million naira could have bought, it would have been better if you used it to buy something that time than if you just kept it in the bank. So it will keep reducing if you keep it in a savings account. But if you invest it, then it will multiply. And that was the secret of Joseph. That was what he did. Joseph was a master administrator. Potiphar was a wealthy man before he met Joseph. Wealthy man. But when Joseph came into his house, he discovered that his wealth was just multiplying, until the guy that was like big business mogul left his business to a slave boy. Because that slave boy understood certain principles, biblical principles of wealth, which are the things that by God, I've been dedicating myself to always. Biblical principles of wealth. Joseph understood and he was using it, and a business mogul left his business in his hands. So that guy, Joseph, I need to write a book on him. I did a particular series in a church where I was invited to for all the Wednesdays in that month, just speaking about the Joseph Code of Financial Prosperity. Joseph's Code of Financial Prosperity. And one of those things is part of what I've told you about when it comes to people that are depending on you for money.
Sorry, sir, you are mute.
All right. So he took out at the end of that year, but he didn't just put it in a warehouse. He replanted it. He invested it. So it's 20% in year 2. If you plant one, you get more than one, multiple. But let's assume for ease of calculation, of course, it's more than this. But for ease of calculation, just assume that when you plant one, you get 2. You double it. So in year 2, he now had $200 because he had planted his $100 from year 1. I hope you understand. If you don't understand, please put it in the chat box. My darling wife is going to let me know. So if you don't understand, please put it in the chat box. So in year 2, he now had 200. I'm not sure. Am I back on? Anything?
Yes, sir, you're live and direct.
Okay.
Some people said they don't.
You don't understand? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for asking. Because you have to understand this. So let's put this one back. In year 1, he has $500 to work with every single year. 3, 4, 5, every single year. In year 1, he says, let's take out 20% of our income. 20% of our income. 20% of $500 is 1/5. That's $100. So he took out $100 in year 1. He didn't just keep it in a warehouse. He planted it, and then his $100 became $200. When you plant one seed, you get multiple fruits. But for ease of calculation, we're just assuming that you get 2. When you plant one, you get double back. So his $100 in year 2 now became $200. You understand? So what he got from year 1, what he saved from year 1, he planted it in year 2, and it now became $200. I'm sure we understand that. All right? It now became $200. In year 2, he took out another 20%, and added it to what he already had, making it now $300. You get? It's now $300. He puts that $300 aside, and then plants the entire $300 in year 3. So when you plant 300, you get 600. So another extra 300 is added to him. 1, 2, 3. So now he has $600 in year 3. I hope we're following. He has $600 in year 3. He takes out of his income from year 3 also and adds it to this 600. Now he has $700 that he would now plant in year 4. And in year 4, $700 is added onto him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Please, I need you to help me monitor this. The comment. I'm sure that they are getting it.
Will you connect another network?
$700. I'm connected to light. I'm connected to another network. Or you can come and help me work this one. So $700 is what in our plans here. Let me see. I think okay. 1, 3, 5. This one is still complete. So it's out another one from here again. This is now 15. This is now 15. 15 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15. Now we have 30. In this year, the 5th year, it takes out the 20% for this year again and plants it in this year. So now it has 31 there, right? So we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So now it has 62 here. It has 62 here. It takes out the 20% from year 6, adds it to this. This is now 63 and brings it here. That's now 63. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. This makes this what? 126, right? 63 times 2, 126. 126. And then it takes the 20% from here. Let's even assume that because this is the last year, it doesn't reinvest this. 126 notes. You put all these $4 together, or $400 together for the whole 7 years. How much is that? This is $280. This was 80% of their income. I need you to help me, man. This was 80% of their income for those 7 years of abundance. This is what they had in the 7 years of famine. Which year actually is the year of abundance? Or which period actually is the period of abundance? It's the period of famine. Joseph practically turned the period of famine into a period of abundance. And that's how come they were able to, how would I put it now? Pay or, feed the rest of the world in that period when everybody else was in famine. When everybody else was in famine. All right? So do you understand what I'm saying? See the power of savings and investment. See the power of savings and investment. See how come now your 10,000 naira that you have been spending anyhow, that money you have been using to buy shawarma every
Sorry, you're mute, sir.
week. Not me now. See what it would have become by now. That 10,000 naira you're using to buy shawarma, that's every month. That money you're using to buy pizza. That money you're using to go to the cinemas. See what it would have become by now. By now. See why you must save. See why you must invest. See why your future self must tell you thank you. Tell your present self now, thank you. The period of famine actually became a period of more abundance than the period when they called the period of abundance. Power of savings and investment. Oh, I always want to make sure I'm seeing everything. See the power of savings and investment. So, according to Joseph, what you should be saving, the least that you should be saving every month is 20% of your income. according to Joseph. But for me, because I want to get rich faster, I don't do 20%, I do more than 20%. So please go ahead and do more than 20% if you can. All right? Go ahead and do more than 20%. But don't do less than. If you're doing less than 20%, you're not helping yourself at all. You're not helping your future self at all. At all. Excuse me. You're not helping your future self at all. So now let's come to investment. The question now comes, what will I do that will double my income every year or maybe every month? What is that thing that I can do that will double my income maybe every year or every month?
Recording in progress.
Yeah, I'm back here.
You're back on.
I'm back here. Okay. So let me ask now that I can see your message. How many of you understand the analogy I just gave about Joseph? How many of us understand it? Understand it clearly? And maybe it gave you did great. Maybe it give you a light bulb, just like it did when God explained it to you. A light bulb moment, just like it did when God exactly. Great. Thank you. You need to understand. If you understand that one alone, I'm telling you, you're set. All right. Now, what will you do that will give you double your income every year? You're saving it every month, but maybe it's at the end of the year that you invest it, you get, because maybe every month, whatever you save every month is not enough to double your income. However, when you save it, don't put it in a savings account. Please put it in a high interest deposit account or in a fixed deposit account. High interest, a fixed deposit, high interest deposit. Put it in a high interest deposit account or a fixed deposit account. Or use that money to buy stocks every month. Use that money to buy, shares in a particular organization every month. And I'll tell you about something that I learned from billionaires that have been return of capital versus return on capital. I learned from billionaires. All right. So I can hear that thing. Yes. All right. So what do you do? Now, I cannot tell you that this is the business that you should go into. I can't tell you. You know the business that you have and that you know and understand well. Please don't go into a business you don't understand. And don't hand money over to somebody with the promise that the person will be giving you 20% or 25% as profit every month. It has never worked out in the long run. Usually for the first 2-3 months, you will get that money. But after that, bam, it has never worked out. I don't know why people keep falling victim of these things. Anyways, they keep falling victim of it because, the father of economics, Adam Smith, said that man is naturally selfish. I mean, you're thinking of getting 20%. There's no organization, no business that has a guaranteed percentage, profit every month. No business in the entire world. This month, it may be good. This other month, it may be bad. This other month, it may be exceptionally good. This other month, it may be just be terrible. That's how business is. That's how it is all around the world. Even for the Amazons and the Facebooks and the Apples, that's how it is. You can never predict correctly how much you're going to make every single month. So if somebody tells you that he has already predicted and he is sure he will give you a certain percentage every month, he's either fooling himself or completely lying. When I say fooling himself, that means he's honest, but he doesn't understand how business works. Or he's lying to you because he knows that it's not going to work like that. So please never fall victim of it. Even if I, Femi Adisa, tomorrow come and tell you, bring 100,000 naira, I'll be giving you 20,000 naira every month. I'm sure of this business and all that. Call me a liar. Call me a scam. It does not work like that. The only way it works is the way it works with organizations where you give them money to invest in their business and then they give you reports every month and say, this is how much we made, this is how much we made, this is how much we're going to share as dividends. Out of how much we made 1 million naira this year, we're sharing 20% of this money as dividends. So you take up the risk. Wow. Okay. So you take up the risk with them. That's how it works. That's how it works. Please. So please don't fall victim of that. Get into a business that you understand. If what you do, for example, is makeup, oh man, I wish I had more time. If what you do, for example, is makeup, look at that makeup. Look at all the chains of distribution in the makeup industry, all the channels of income in the makeup industry. Look at everything and say, okay, I can get into this particular chain, into this particular level, and then make money from here. I can invest into this particular channel of income and make money from there. All right, but it has to be a business that you understand very well. If you don't understand any business at all, or you don't have the time to do any business at all, then invest in somebody's business. Invest in maybe a large organization or somebody's business who you know knows and understands that business very well. And if only the person can get a little more capital, you will make more money. And then you make sure you trust the person to sign your whatever it is, documents with the person, and you are getting constant reports from that person, as you are also learning more about business, so that at some point when your capital is, you can go into it big time also. All right. So that's what I advise that you invest in. Now, there are two types of investments. There's the cash flow investment and there's the capital gain investment. Cash flow investment is an investment that you go into to be bringing money for you regularly, maybe monthly or whatever it is. Periodically, cash flow investment brings money for you regularly. I mean, so for example, if you decide that you want to start buying clothes to resell, that's cash flow investment. You're investing in that, and as you resell, your money comes back to you straight up. But if you decide that you want to buy land and build something, that's capital gain investment. In the stock market, these two kinds of investment also exist. If you buy shares in Coca-Cola, for example, they pay you dividends every year. But if you buy shares in Apple, they don't pay you dividends. But you are sure that your capital keeps increasing. So that's cash flow and capital gain. Now you can choose which one you want. You want to do cash flow investment or you want to do capital gain investment. If you would ask for my advice, this is it. If you start with capital gain investments, you start doing capital gain and buying properties and all that, things may be quite tough for you when it comes to, cash at hand, having money with you. Things may be quite tough for you at the beginning, for the first maybe few years. Things may be quite tough. But by the time your capital gain investments now appreciate and the gain really is there, then things will get softer and better for you. If you start with cash flow investment, that you invest in things that keep bringing money to you, it means that later on, as the money keeps coming in and you keep piling it up, you now go and buy capital investments. So that way, things will be easier for you at the beginning, but you will not be as rich in the long run, in the long term, as the person who started with capital gains. So you choose it. You choose which one you want. For both, you will be very rich. You will end up rich. But for capital gains investments, it will take longer time for you to now eventually start having the money to buy the kind of car you want, and all that stuff. Why? Because if you go and buy land, for example, in a place that's, it's not yet so well developed, you may not be making money for the first few years. But after a while, when development comes there, then you have many more avenues to make money with that property. You may sell it, that's retrieving all your capital back, or you may start a business on that place because now development has come to that place. You can now make money with that property. All right. If you understand that, please let me know in the chat box. Please let me know. So you can choose either you want to do capital gain or cash flow investment. But for one, things are soft, in the beginning, softer in the beginning, and then you won't be as rich as the guy who did capital gain investment from the start. Okay. But later on, for the guy who did capital gain investment from the start, instead of capital gain investment, the cash flow becomes really more and really good later on in the future. If you know me, if you have listened to everything, you will probably know the one I started with, whether capital gain or cash flow investment. You probably know, but I won't tell you that. Now, that's for the types of investment. Then there are two types of returns on investment. And yeah, let me just quickly say this. For billionaires, the billionaires that I've studied, from all my study of billionaires, I've come to realize that billionaires are more interested in return of capital rather than return on capital. I'll explain that. Return of capital means that your capital is secure. That means they are sure that anytime, any day, they will get their money back. And that's why many of them buy gold, and keep their gold under the ocean. Because they are sure no thief is going to go there to steal their gold. It is safe. So that's return on capital. That's return of capital rather. Return on capital is how much profit the capital is bringing to you regularly. Like when I explained capital gains, buying gold is a capital gain investment. Buying Bitcoin is a capital gain investment, not a cash flow investment. You get that? So the return on capital means how much you're making per month. So if you build a rental property, for example, and they are paying you rent per month or per year, depending on what country you live in, they are paying you that rent. That's your return on capital. The money that your capital is bringing back to you. But the return of capital is when you want that capital back, the amount that it will bring back to you. So if you put 1 million naira into an investment, your return of that capital is that by the time I now want to sell that investment, I'm getting my 1 million naira, at least that my 1 million naira back. So billionaires, you started with capital gain. You prepared the capital gain. All right, so billionaires always prioritize return of capital over return on capital. Maybe I should explain it this way. Maybe you explain it this way. You will understand it this way better. If you call a billionaire, call Tony Elumelu, for example, and say, hello, sir, I have an idea. It's an opportunity, golden opportunity for you to make 25 million naira by this time next 2 weeks. And you called him at 2 a.m. in the morning when he was sleeping. He was already sleeping. You call him and say, there's an opportunity for you to make 25 million naira within the next 2 weeks. He's likely to bang the phone on you and say, I beg, drop. Put down the phone, drop. I want to sleep. Opportunity to make 25 million naira in 2 weeks, it's likely to just push it up. But if you call him at 2 a.m. when he's already sleeping and you say, hello, sir, your investment of 1 billion naira with us is about to drop by 25 million naira if you don't do X and X right now on your laptop. Sleep will clear out of his eyes and then he will get up, go on his laptop and do whatever he has to. It's the same amount, 25 million naira. It's either he makes 25 million naira or he loses 25 million naira. This same amount is on the line here. But for one of them, he will stand up and do something about it. For the other one, he will bang the phone on you and tell you, stop disturbing me. Why? Because he cares about the return of his investment. That 1 billion naira, was it 1 billion I said? That 1 billion naira I put there, he does not want it to reduce. But he's not concerned by, you now telling him, that 1 billion naira, if you put it into this, or if you just do this and this on your laptop, it will now you 25 million naira in addition. He will tell you, I'm not interested. I'm more interested in my 1 billion naira remaining 1 billion than using that 1 billion naira to make more money. That's return of investment, return on investment. Do you understand that? If you understand, please put it in the chat box. If you understand that, please put it in the chat box. You understand what I said? So, yes, they are more particular about return of their investment than return on investment. And I think that that's what you should do too. Be more particular about the return of your investment and return on investment. That's why you should not do M&A. That's why you should not do all these get-rich-quick schemes. Because if you have saved 1 million naira, for example, and you put something and it goes, hey, you will start running around and your headache will not be much. Is it not better that you put it there in something that is giving you peace of mind? It's growing little by little, maybe in a property land, growing little by little, or it's not even growing at all, but it is there. Even though I don't advise that, that's putting in the savings account. But put it in stocks, in Apple shares, or Facebook shares, Amazon shares, whatever it is, and make sure that it is growing and it is there. Tesla, it is there. You will get it anytime you want. So prioritize return of investment over return on investment. There are two types of returns of investment, or return on investment rather. Two types of ROI. I hope I don't confuse you because investment can be quite technical. There are two types. There's a volatile one and the risky one. Volatile one is the one that it's up today, tomorrow it can be down. Today is up, tomorrow it can be down. So things like maybe your business, your personal business can be volatile. Today it can just boom and everything is fine, and tomorrow it's down, it's up and down like that. Risky one is that you may lose it all. That's the one that, if you keep doing this thing like this, one day you may just lose it all. That's one, run away from it. Run away from risky investments. But volatile investments, you can do that. You can do volatile investments, okay? So like I said, there's no investment, no business that you are sure that is going to remain this same way. You'll be getting 20%, 20%, 20% every single day of its life. No, every investment is either volatile or risky. When it's volatile, that means it can be up today, down tomorrow, up today, down tomorrow. The level of volatility can differ. Some are highly volatile, some are less volatile. But there are some that are just risky, where if you put your money in, you just not get it again. Run away from risky investments. The two types of return on investment. That's what I just explained. You didn't understand. Volatile and risky. That's what I just explained. Because of time, because we need to go into questions and answers. So if you still don't understand, then I'll explain it. Maybe you can ask a question. Then that's that. Then now, the greatest yield on investment you can get, greatest yield is investment you put into marketing. So you own your own business. You sell clothes, for example, or shoes. Let's say you sell shoes. You sell shoes. You can decide to go and open a shop and say that's an investment. But my sister, that's not really an investment. You go and open a shop, and then you establish the shop, you put everything, you dress the place, you make the place look good, and arrange all your shoes and all that. That's when many people get it wrong. What you just did was not an investment. What you did was to create a base for your investment. And you have spent a lot of money on that base. And that base is not what will bring more money to you. What brings money to you is customers coming to you to buy the shoes. And with the world that we live in today, your store can be online and you'll be selling far more than the person who went to pay millions of naira to rent a shop and dress it up and mix it and snaps Instagram pictures there and all that stuff. You can be making far more money than that person. What really brings money to you, must understand the business that you're into. You're not into real estate business. You're into selling of shoes. So when it comes to selling of shoes, what brings money to you is the number of people that come to buy shoes from you. So the highest return on investment you can get is in marketing your shoes. That's why you must learn marketing. You must learn marketing. The highest return on investment you can get, please write that, make it bold. Make it bold, highlight it. The highest return on investment ever is the investment into marketing. Marketing of your products. So you must learn how to market. You must learn how to sell your products to people. You must learn how to put your product in front of the right people and get them to take action to buy your product. All right. And of course, there's a lot in marketing which we can't go into now. There's a lot in marketing. So, but very important, learn marketing. That's the highest return investment you can get. All right. So 30 minutes in the class, question and answer. Yeah. So learn digital marketing. Learn digital marketing, how to market with on Instagram, on YouTube, and all that. Digital marketing.
Thank you.
Questions?
Thank you so much,
okay.
Sir. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. I have one from the YouTube, and I'll just post it here. It says, I'll read it out for you. So it says, from Kemi Ayodele, are you saying it's not wise to put money in savings account if you want more yield? Are you saying it's not wise to put money in savings account if you want more yield? That's a question, sir, from YouTube.
Yeah. Yes, I'm saying that it's not wise to put money in the savings account. You can put it there temporarily, but not permanently. And just like I said, if you put 1 million naira in your savings account in January, saying that I've saved 1 million naira, I've saved 1 million naira. Right now, maybe like 500,000 because of the inflation rate. So I don't want to be very technical so that it's easy for us to understand. But if inflation rate is in Nigeria, our inflation is about 16%, 16.7% or so the last time I checked. But right now, I'm sure it's even more than 16% because things have doubled or up in prices. So it's probably even 100% or so. So let's say it's 20%, inflation is 20%. The savings account, the bank will not give you anything more than 4% as your interest on savings. So you see how much you're losing. You're losing about 12%. So it's not wise to put money in a savings account except temporarily. So you put it in that savings account for 6 months so you can pack it all and go and put it in a better investment, either in stocks or something that will give you greater percentage increase in income in your capital or return capital than inflation rate. So it's not wise to put money in savings account for the long term.
Thank you, sir. Oluwayeti, I'll unmute you so you can ask your question.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. You always think that, because I mean, I'm part of the BBC, so, you know, there's that sense of, oh, this is my coach, and not being paying attention, you know, that sense of, oh, I mean, it teaches, I have a close community with him, but I'm glad that I'm still able to learn, even from the fact that I've learned so many things from you. So God bless you, sir. Thank you so much. So my question is regards giving, because that is something that I've been struggling. In fact, this month it got to a point I was so overwhelmed with a lot of requests, like I need this for this, maybe things on, or I have someone in the hospital, or have this and that. So what I used to do prior to now is that I used to dedicate a particular amount every month for giving. So I'll just have it in the reservoir, like, okay, and if anybody comes to ask for funds or something, I'll take out of this. But it's now getting to that period where I'm running out of that budget, and it's hard. So when I say giving now, I'm not even talking about my family. Thankfully, I have a family who, if I tell my mom or dad, like, oh, at this time I can't afford what you've asked, they are the kind of people that are very understanding. So generally, my family do not belong to these categories. Usually more of people who are not even really close to you, but they have one need or the other, and it's just hard to look away. So I don't know if there is a biblical principle for, you know, because sometimes I'm like, if I ask God, will God say don't give? You know, so it can be, and then that guilt trip of, yeah, I'm supposed to give, God is my provider. I should not really care too much about, you know, saving, or I mean, not giving because I want to invest this money. So I'm lost in that world of knowing how to give and at the same time not be foolish, if I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm very sure that there are other people in your shoes also. So I'm going to answer this question having other people in mind. If you don't have the money, you won't give it because you don't have it. You can't give what you don't have. And this is what you must do. Take out the money that you pay yourself, your savings. You pay yourself first. If you now have after that, give. If you have after that, give. But make sure that you're giving to yourself first. And you have given to yourself just the way I explained it. There's somebody in between you and that money. You cannot just reach that money anyhow. So when somebody comes to ask you, you really can't provide it. I mean, for example, if you invest in properties, for example, and you have already used the money to buy land, and somebody now comes and says that this thing is happening, or this thing is happening, and all that stuff, there's nothing you can do. You can't carry the land and give to the person. You've already used the money to buy the land. All right?
Yes, sir.
You've already used the money to buy the land. So, and that's what I usually do. I hardly even have money with me. I hardly have cash with me.
Wow.
Now, okay, I have 1 million in my pocket. Now, I just made 1 million and I have that 1 million in my pocket now. As the money is entering, it's already going somewhere. It's already going into my future. As the money is entering, it's going somewhere. So even for my wife, for example, if she knows, if money enters now in the next 2-3 weeks, if she has not bought whatever she wants to buy out of that money now, it is gone. So if I know that there are no men here, but even women, you know now, when money enters your husband's hand, that's when this thing mind. This you need, things that you did not need before the money. So before all those things are plenty in the mind, boom, it's gone to an investment, and then there's nothing else anybody can do. So even for me, sometimes money enters like this, and I've already put it, and I remember, yeah, and I said I wanted to buy this new pair of shoes. So it's gone. There's nothing I can do about it. If I don't have it, I can't spend it on it. That's one. Two, Genesis chapter 47. Sorry? It's almost. Okay. Genesis chapter 47. You need to read it. Read from
What verse, sir?
till the end. Genesis 47, from verse 13 till the end. From verse 13 to the end. I'm going to summarize it. In Genesis 47, the people of Egypt, who are the people that Joseph was actually serving, came to him and said, sir, there's no more bread in the land, but we have money. There's no bread, there's no more money, there's no more food, but we have money. And then he said, please, let us buy food. So he gave them food and collected their money. Joseph is a very sensible guy. Gave them the food, collected their money. You will ask and say, why did he collect money from them? They are Egyptians. I mean, they are citizens. You are just giving them the food free of charge. But Joseph will not do that. He is a great administrator. He gave them the food, collected their money. And I'll tell you why he won't do that. When Joseph became prime minister, that was big news, breaking news all over the kingdom. A Jewish boy, a slave, went to prison. That was breaking news. And then now he's prime minister, breaking news. And then the king said, take him on a horse, on the best horse, let him ride all around the kingdom. Slave. So people that were in prison with him before, people that were slaves with him before, saw him. This same boy is now prime minister. This was breaking news. How did he become prime minister? This is what he did, and this is the solution he proffered. Okay, so everything that we make, this that we do, it was news. Famine is coming for the next 7 years, and these people, foolish people, could not use the same principle that Joseph used to ensure that they stay afloat in the period of famine. When abundance was there, they were just eating anyhow. In the period of famine, they were now coming back to him to beg for food. So what did he do? He collected the money from them. Gave them the food. They took that food away, ate it, and came back and said, we don't have food again. The food has finished, and we don't have money, but we have livestock. He collected the livestock, gave them the food. The next year, they came back to him again and said, we don't have food again, we don't have livestock, we don't have anything. All that we have is land. So what did he do? He said, all right, no problem. Read that Genesis 47, verse 13 to the end. He said, all right, no problem. I will collect the land from you, but you now begin to work on the land, and then whatever you make from the land, you get a portion of it, and then the king gets a portion of it. That was when I now saw that, so in this period of famine, it's not as if the land was not yielding at all. It was still yielding, but it was not yielding as much as before. What it was yielding, maybe what would bring out this big size of yam, as a tuber of yam as big as this, was not bringing out a tuber of yam as big as this. So it was still yielding something. And these guys were collecting the food and not planting it to at least have something small. They collected it for the first time in exchange of money. They collected the next time in exchange of cattle, and they still did not plant. The 7th year, when there must have been an announcement, as from next year, famine is going to start, they did not plant. They didn't have anything, depending on the government. So what Joseph now did was to put them to work so that they can be yielding something for them to eat. Please, don't give people handouts. Handouts don't help them. Just dashing people money does not help them. Rather than give them cash, put it into a business for them and tell them, start doing this business. What business do you want to do? And that's my own principle. I will never just take money and just dash you. Why will I just take the money and dash you? I know it won't help you. I'm not helping you. If you see a billionaire or a millionaire, somebody who is very wealthy, and then he tells you, ask me for anything, and you ask him for money, you are foolish. Why? Because that money won't help you. And if he loves you, he will not give you that money. What you should do is ask him how he got what he got. How can I also become like you? What can I do to be like you? then you will know that you're wise. They had a meeting in Germany some time ago. African leaders came together for a meeting in Germany. And then Said Masiyiwa was representing Zimbabwe. He was representing Zimbabwe with all its people. And then they asked and said, people of Zimbabwe, we want to help you. What can we do to help you? Then Strive went to all the people that were there and talked to them and said, let them come and teach our people skills. You know, Germany is very good with machines and all that. Let them come and teach our people these skills. Then they presented it to them. And then the people of Germany said, wow, we're expecting you guys to ask for money. We're expecting you guys to ask for funds. And what you have asked for now is very difficult. I'm not sure if you can give it to you. You're not thinking, money and come and teach us the skills. This one is cheaper. But they will rather, if they don't like you, they will give you the money. But if they really love you, they will give you what they have in their brain. So please, if you love those people, give them what you have in your brain, rather than just giving them handouts. Yeah, next question.
Thank you.
This will actually be the last question, so that we can call it a night. So we'll just choose one more person. Ivy, who is asking a question now?
Okay, I have one question on the chat. I'll read that. So the question goes, what are we expected to use savings for apart from investment? I beg your pardon. What are we expected to use savings for apart from investment?
You can give me your savings.
If you don't use your savings for investments, please don't save. All right? The only thing you expect to use savings for is investment. The only thing, except God instructs you otherwise. God, not anybody, not any human being, not even your pastor, God. Maybe if God sends your pastor to you, and you are sure that your pastor is from God. But except God instructs you otherwise. If you don't use your savings for anything, for investments, don't use it for anything. Don't even save, please. Just live your life anyhow, knowing that even if in future you are broke, it's okay. But always use savings for investment. That's why in economics we say savings is equal to investments. Any savings that does not result in investments is not a savings. It's not a savings. So you save money and you use it to buy ashwebi when your sister is wedding. You didn't save. You just bought ashwebi. Don't call it savings. You saved money and then you used it to pepper people in your village when it was Christmas time. You didn't save. All right. Every savings must be equal to investment. And that's why it's an Hausa man and a Muslim that is the richest man in Africa today. Why? Because everything he saved, he used for investment. And that's how the Hausas are. Probably, most likely, the Hausa guy that is selling suya on your street is the richest guy on that street. And he probably sleeps outside. He doesn't sleep in a fine house on a waterbed like you. But it's probably, most probably, the richest man on that street, because every money he makes from that thing, he uses it to go back to the north, to buy cattle, to plants and all that. He always saves. He does not buy fancy clothes like you. So all the money that you save, he always invests rather. All the money that you save, you must use it for investment. Must use it for investment. And that's where Yorubas and Igbos get it wrong. We make more money than the Hausas. That's the honest truth. We make more money. Igbos make a lot of money from import and export and, producing stuff, everything. They make a lot of money. Yorubas make a lot of money from the corporate sector and all that. But the Hausas remain richer than all of us. Why? Because everything that they save, they invest. But for us, we save to buy a shwebi, we save to do party, we save to do this, we save to do that. And that's where the problem is. So if you're not ready to invest, please don't save. Just spend the money anyhow. Yes, self-development is also investment. Self-development is, in fact, it's the best investment that you can ever do. What you are doing right now, learning this self-development is the greatest investment, because everything I've taught you now, some of it took me years to learn, but you've learned it within how many minutes. So that's great investment. You don't have to make the mistakes I made before I learned all these things. You've learned it now. So being a part of groups like this, taking online courses and all those things is the best investment. It's even greater than investment that will bring you cash immediately, right? Because that one brings you cash for the rest of your life. And then you shrink maybe 5 years of learning, somebody's learning experience, you shrink it into 2 hours and you learn it just like that.
Thank you so much, sir. Oh my gosh, that was wonderful.
Intensive. Thank
That
you.
was indeed. Oh, sorry, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ivy. Can we just celebrate and appreciate Mr. Adisa for being such
so 11 o'clock.
For being such an amazing blessing to us. Can we just can we appreciate in the comment section?
Thank you.
Thank you. If you have questions, please forward them to any of the coordinators. Mr. Adisa would answer. We'll send a response to the questions and to be sent to all the groups. Can we please just pray for Mr. Adisa and bless him? Let's bless him with our prayers. Let's pray that God would increase him in wisdom, understanding. God will grant him more insight. God will preserve him. God would increase and preserve his wealth. He will continue to be relevant to his generation. God will use him for greater heights. God will send him to the nations. He will stand before kings and not mere men. In the mighty name of Jesus, that the Lord will increase his utterance. The Lord will increase his wisdom. His health is secured. His family is secured. In the mighty name of Jesus. In Jesus' mighty name, we have prayed. Amen and amen. Thank you so much. So your review will hold tomorrow in your WhatsApp groups. I want to encourage us to please participate in the reviews. Participate in the reviews in your WhatsApp group. It is important. That's how you glean from others. God bless you. Have a sweet night rest.